Hey there, Brad Casser from GreatOptionTradingStrategies.com. Today I want to give you a real quick update on my OSCR Kingpin campaign. I think you're really going to like this because as we watch this campaign unfold over time, it may dawn on you how powerful this approach really is. So I previously put together a full video how I'm employing what I call the Option Trading Kingpin Strategy. And I've linked to that video in the description section. So if you haven't seen that video or if you'd like a refresher, I recommend you check it out because I laid out the key steps to the strategy, drill down on a real world example where I'm currently using the strategy, and then also discuss some of the trade-offs, drawbacks, and potential limitations of the strategy. But the super quick version is that I'm using options to financially engineer a long-term 1,000 share stock position in OSCR Healthcare that will, ideally, cost me little to nothing at the end of the day. Now, how is that remotely possible? And why should you even listen to me in the first place? I've been trading options, mostly selling them since 2002. I launched the Great Option Trading Strategies website way back in 2008, where over the last 17 years, I put together a ton of resources, free downloadable guides, ebooks, special reports, case studies, etc., and nearly 300 articles on all aspects of selling options for income, as well as incorporating options into value investing and/or dividend growth portfolios to further stack the deck in your favor. And that, incidentally, is kind of what we're going to be looking at today with the Kingpin strategy. And 13 years ago, I started my private option trading membership site, the Leveraged Investing Club. Not currently accepting new members, so no worries about a sales pitch here. But if anything we covered today resonates with you, you might want to check out the Great Option Trading Strategies website and all the resources available to you. I've added links to the site and the free downloadable library page in the description section below. And I've also pinned a direct link to my daily option tips and insights newsletter sign-up page in the comments section. So, how is it possible to acquire stock and have Mr. Market pay for most, if not all of it? Again, I refer to the original Option Trading Kingpin Strategy video as I go into full detail there, but basically I'm selling a larger number of puts against the stock and an occasional small covered call position and using the net premium collected to heavily subsidize individual share purchases on the open market. In the previous video, I had amassed 200 shares with an adjusted cost basis that represented right around a 50% discount to the open market purchase price, meaning that roughly half the funds I used to purchase shares of OSCR on the open market came from the net premium I've been collecting from selling OSCR options. So here's the update. Coming into this week, my position consisted of the 200 shares of the stock acquired on the open market on two different occasions, 10 OSCR October 17th, 2025 $16 short puts, and a single OSCR October 17th, 2025 $19 covered call. Now, with about 2.5 weeks to go until expiration on both option legs here, on Wednesday, October 1st, with the stock trading at $18.73 a share, I saw that with my short puts, I could get a really nice 95-cent net credit on a straight roll out to November. I generally like to wait until most of the time value is gone in a short option position before rolling it or adjusting it, and there was a case to be made for holding off a little longer. But the stock was trading pretty close to where it had been trading 27 days earlier on my previous roll. And I had been monitoring the net credit available on a straight roll for a few sessions. And so on that particular day, it had bumped up to that 95 cents per contract figure. Bottom line, I didn't want to stress too much about perfecting the exact timing on the roll and then have the stock make a big move in one direction or the other and then see the pricing deteriorate. I did hold off doing anything with a $19 covered call though, as the stock was still trading below that $19 share price level. But the next day, OSCR did peak above that level, and at that point, I went ahead and rolled the October $19 cover call out and up to the $20 strike price for a small 15-cent per contract net credit. Now, on this one, I only went as far as the first expiration cycle that would enable me to work the strike higher while getting a net credit. And that turned out to be the October 31st cycle, or a 2-week extension from the October 17th expiration date. Obviously, that's not a huge amount of additional net premium, but at this point, I'm using the single covered call to squeeze a little more out of the campaign, and with the stock moving higher over the last couple of months, the primary objective with the covered call is to continue keeping it out of the money while generating net credits on rolls and adjustments, even if that net premium is modest. If and when the covered call portion of the trade expires or nears expiration out of the money, I'll be in a position to generate a bigger chunk of premium at that point. Okay, now to the kingpin part of the campaign. This month I added 50 new shares of Oscar, which I purchased on October 1st at the time that I rolled those $16 short puts out to November. I paid $18.64 a share on the open market for a cost of $932 even. There was no commissions or fees on that transaction. Now, total new net premium between the $16 short puts I rolled out to November for a 95-cent net credit and the single $19 cover call I rolled out and up to the October 31st $20 strike for a 15-cent net credit brought in $954.83 after commissions and fees. So the 50 shares I purchased this month were fully paid for by the new net premium I collected, and I even had $24.83 left over. Now, I mentioned in the original Oscar Kingpin video that I might start scaling back the number of shares I'm purchasing on the open market to better allow my adjusted cost basis to gravitate back towards that longer-term zero target. And that's exactly what happened this month. So I now have 250 shares of Oscar, or 25% of my ultimate goal of 1,000 shares, with a non-adjusted cost basis of about $17.46 a share. In other words, on the open market, I paid $4,366.65 for 250 shares of the stock. But when you back out my accumulated net premium collected to date, which is $2,659.56, my net cost for those 250 shares drops to $1,707.09, or $6.83 a share on an adjusted cost basis. Another way of viewing all this is that I financially engineered a 60.91% discount or rebate to my open market purchases. Okay, finally, in the interest of full disclosure here, this campaign has gone really well, partly for reasons that are beyond my control. First, Oscar premiums are very high. Mr. Market is pricing in a lot of potential volatility with the underlying shares. You're not going to get these kind of terms on a consumer staples type stock. And so far, the stock has been pretty stable since I started this campaign about 2.5 months ago. It's been a really nice situation. High implied volatility levels and a stock that's acting like it's on a relatively tight leash. Now, we'll see how things unfold and how long this situation lasts. I believe there's an earnings release at the beginning of November, so we might get some good old-fashioned chaos thrown into the mix next month. At some point, the stock will likely make a big move in one direction or the other, so I do eventually expect some challenges that will undoubtedly slow the pace and effectiveness of the stock acquisition part of the campaign. But the reason I'm documenting all this is so that we can actually learn from it, and at a deeper level. Theory is nice, it's a good first step, but the deepest learning, clarity, and skill development comes from experience and seeing how something works in the real world, especially if there are complications at some point. So stay tuned as I continue documenting this campaign and posting regular updates here. If you have any questions about anything, or if you'd like me to clarify anything, fire away in the comments below. And definitely check out the original Kingpin video. Again, the link is in the description. Also, sign up for the Daily Tips newsletter via the pinned comment below. Options are the ultimate high-yield income vehicle and wealth-building vehicle, and they can be structured in so many different ways to generate sustainable and safe high-yield income. The Daily Tips newsletter is a perfect complement to this channel because I can cover more topics, and sometimes deeper, in written form versus video form. Again, you can sign up directly, or there's also a link in the description section below to the Great Option Trading Strategies downloadable library page. Download anything from there, and you'll also begin receiving the Daily Tips newsletter automatically. Heads we win, tails Mr. Market loses. That means you should be coming out ahead on virtually all of your trades, and all of your campaigns too, for that matter. Okay, until next time.